Hello and welcome back. From here on in, we'll be working with the exercise files. Locate the exercise files folder. If you have not downloaded the files already, it would be a good idea to do it now. Pause the video and come back when you are ready. In this chapter, we are going to look at different scenarios of doing a tax return for a single taxpayer with no income. For each scenario, we will prepare the tax return for the province of Quebec first. Then we will look at how, when using the same information, how it would affect a taxpayer living in a different province. Upon completion of this chapter, you will be able to add a new client to DTMax, enter a client's personal information, choose the right option for drug insurance, this is for Quebecers only, complete a tax return for someone who has no income, add a T4 and a Relevé 1 to a client's file, complete the Solidarity Tax Credit form, this is also for Quebecers only, display the tax return and view the client's federal and provincial tax credits, set up direct deposit, print, and e-file. So let's begin. Double-click on the DTMax icon to start the program. Select the year 2015. For the product, select T1. Make sure your username is in place and your database is all set up. Click Start, and we are on the Client List tab. Before we begin entering a new client file, I'd like you to know that you can enter a new client from any tab or anywhere in DTMax. Our first client is Miss Susan Peters. She is new to our company and would like to have her taxes done for the year 2015. She is single, with no spouse and no children. She lives alone and has no income. She would like to also give her name, address, and date of birth to Elections Canada to keep her information up to date on the National Register of Electors. To begin working on her file, we will need to add her as a new client. Keep in mind that starting a new file or creating a new client file in DTMax have the same meaning, and I'm going to use these terms interchangeably. There are 4 ways to create or start a new client file in DTMax. First, you can click on File on the upper left-hand corner and select Add New Client from the drop-down menu. Once clicked, the Add New Client screen will appear. I will explain this pop-up screen later on as we go. Just click Cancel for now. The second way you can start a new file is to right-click anywhere on the Client List screen and select Add New Client from the pop-up menu. Once again, click Cancel to move on. The third way you can add a client is to click on the Add New Client icon in the top midsection of the menu bar. Click Cancel again to move on. And the fourth way you can add a new client to DTMax is to press F3 on your keyboard. Note that with all of these options to add a new client, the same Add a New Client box appeared. So to begin, let's add Miss Peters as a new client to DTMax. With the Add New Client screen already displayed, let's begin by going through the options. The first option, Start a New Family Head, Add a New Family Head, is selected already. When starting a new file, DTMax always assigns the new client Family Head status by default. The next option just below, Add New Member to Current Family, you will use this option when you want to add a new member to a particular family. Next, just below, you will see the New Client Number box. By default, a new number is automatically assigned, but you can assign a different number as long as that number is not currently being used. Next, just beneath, we have the Smart Start Input Assistant. Leave this box unchecked for now. I will cover this option for you in the next video. Click OK for now. Now we are on the second tab, which is the Data Entry screen. This is where you will input all of the client's personal information and tax documents. DTMax is a tax preparation program, but I want you to think of DTMax as an interview program. It'll ask you all of the questions, and all you have to do is answer those questions. As you can see, the first thing that DTMax will need to know is the personal information about the client. So let's stop here for a moment and locate Ms. Peters' personal information. Locate the Exercise Files folder and double-click to open it. Inside the Exercise Files folder, you should see a folder named A Single Taxpayer. Double-click on it to open it. Inside this folder, you should see a PDF file named Personal Information. Double-click to open it. This is the information we are going to enter for our new client, Ms. Peters. Let's go back to DTMax and begin inputting her information. As you can see, to start, DTMax is asking you for the client's personal information. And the way that DTMax will ask you for this information is through what's called a keyword system. DTMax uses keywords to enter the information into the database. I want you to think of the keywords as questions. All you have to do is answer those questions. The first keyword or the first question DT Max is asking you is for the client's last name. Think of it as DT Max asking you, what is the client's last name? Type Peters. The next question is what is the client's first name? Type Susan. The next question is what is the relationship? The relationship has already been assigned. As we discussed before, the program chooses family head by default. You can change this option by clicking the drop-down arrow to the right and making a selection. We will leave the selection as it was on family head. Next question is what is the social insurance number? Input the social insurance number here. Next, what is the date of birth? Type the date of birth. For the status, you can also change this option by clicking the drop-down arrow to the right to make a selection. We will also leave this selection as it was on single. Note that all of the boxes with a drop-down arrow to the right allow you to change the selection in those boxes. So for sex, we know she is a female, so we will select female. For her province of residence on December 31st, we will select Quebec. For her language, we will choose English. Now for the mailing address. The first thing DT Max wants to know is what is the street number and name of her mailing address. Enter her street number and name and press Enter. As you can see, when you press Enter, some other options appeared. These options are called secondary keywords. Some keywords will have secondary keywords within them, and these keywords together forms what's called a group. Group keywords are related to each other. To identify a keyword which forms a group, you will see a small G and key icon to the left of that keyword. There are 4 ways to expand or close a group in DT Max. First, you can click on the little G and key icon to the left of the keyword. Second, you can use the F6 key on your keyboard once the cursor is within that keyword field. Third, you can right-click in the keyword field and select Expand Group or Contract Group from the pop-up menu. The fourth way to expand or close a group is to click on View in the upper left-hand corner of the menu bar and select Expand Group or Contract Group from the drop-down menu. I want to stop here just for a moment to bring something to your attention that I also think will help you. If you place your mouse over any keyword, you will see a small description of what is requested of you for that field. Also, if you look to the bottom left corner of the program, you will see the information requested for you each time an entry field is selected. The last field we selected was street, and as you can see, DT Max is asking you for the street number and street name of the client's mailing address. So if ever you have a problem as to what the keyword might mean or is asking for, just place your mouse over any keyword or look to the bottom left corner of the program for help. I will discuss more ways of finding help for keywords in level 2 and 3. Now let's continue. The next thing is the apartment. Enter the apartment 2. She has no PO box or route in her address, so we can skip the next 2 options. For the city, enter Montreal. For the province, click on the down arrow to the right and select Quebec from the drop-down menu. Next, enter her postal code. For current province, you will enter this field only if a client is a resident of a different province or territory from the current mailing address. We will skip this field for now. Next is date of move. Enter this field only if the client moved to a different province or territory during the taxation year. We will skip this field as well. Next, for home address mail, enter yes to confirm her home address is the same as her mailing address. Next, for phone, you can see this keyword is a group. You can expand the group just by typing in her home phone number in the field and pressing enter, or by clicking on the little G and key icon to the left of the keyword phone. Either way, this will expand the group. Once the group is expanded, enter all of her phone numbers completely, including the area code. Next, for keyword alone, which is for Quebecers only, she said she lives alone, so select yes from the options. Next, for drug insurance, which is also for Quebec residents only, select Quebec prescription drug insurance all year. Keep in mind that the drug insurance field is mandatory in Quebec. I will be covering these options in more detail in Level 2. So now we have entered all of the information on screen so far, but there is still more information on her personal information sheet that was not entered. To complete the tax return, we will need to include this information on her taxes. In the next video, we are going to complete the tax return by entering the other information. We will also look at how to add new keywords and use the Smart Start assistant to help us complete a tax return. See you over there.